Yasher Koach, Elliot, and Yasher Koach, Zane. You both gave us really fascinating Divrei Torah today. Zane, you taught us theories about the origins of the Levites, scholarly theories, that they were actually Egyptians, that they were actually the sons that the Israelite families couldn't afford to feed. These are theories I think probably most of us have never heard before. And Elliot, you also brought a teaching that I bet most people here have never heard before, a theory about the juxtaposition of the Sota and the Nazir, the ritual that's addressing women's potential infidelity and the ritual that's about giving people a way to return or get close to God. And in doing so, both of you put a spotlight on how very different life was back in the time of the Torah. But you also made the point, Elliot, that it was both different and not so different. We don't have people abstaining from the barber or the grapevine as a way to get close to God anymore, but we do still all make mistakes and strive to recover and learn from them. And we do still need to figure out how to feed our families. And there's a lot to be grateful for and not take for granted, as you taught us, Zane. And I would argue that some things in Torah are more similar to our lives and our world now than we like to think. The Sota ritual seems to be about women's infidelity from their husbands, but it may have actually been about men's jealousy. First of all, notice that there is no punishing ritual for adultery by men, even though it's one of the 10 commandments, and it's a commandment that carries the death sentence. As humiliating and misogynistic as the Sota ritual is, even when found guilty, a woman is not put to death. So is it actually about infidelity? Our Parsha is very clear that this ritual is specifically for cases where there is no evidence of wrongdoing, where there is no witness, and where the husband has no proof. Verse 14 states that this ritual takes place when, quote, a fit of jealousy comes over him, and he is wrought up about the wife who has defiled herself, meaning cheated on him. Or, the verse continues, if a fit of jealousy comes over him and he is wrought up about his wife, although she has not defiled herself, i.e., not cheated on him. Her infidelity is not required for the ritual to take place. His jealousy is. And if you noticed, the thing he does is he brings a meal offering, and it's called an offering of jealousy. The ritual only takes place if he is in a, quote, fit of jealousy. In The Image of God, a feminist commentary on the Torah, Judith Antonelli writes that, quote, the law of Sota was not so much designed to punish unfaithful wives, although it did. It was primarily to protect innocent women from possessive, abusive husbands who were consumed by irrational fits of jealousy, creating a format for channeling the man's rage and deflecting it from his wife. Today, we still have a big double standard about marital infidelity. Women who commit adultery are often judged much more harshly than men who do. Some people and some cultures even treat infidelity by men as normal or expected. No big deal. But men's jealousy about women's potential or imagined infidelity continues to be a serious global problem. Studies from countries as diverse as Brazil, China, Ecuador, Tanzania, and the United States show that men's jealousy in romantic and sexual relations is a primary cause of intimate partner violence all around the world, even sometimes leading to women's deaths. If it's true that the Sota ritual was a way for the whole society to manage men's jealousy and prevent violence against women, it may have proved effective. Nonetheless, the problem when a society accommodates the more powerful group's unaddressed mental health needs, even if the motive is to protect the less powerful group, is that it enshrines and reinforces inequality. Even if individual women's lives were saved and violence against women was prevented, the Jewish people's entire culture was shaped through Torah to think of women's adultery as a collective problem to solve, whereas men's adultery was met with collective silence and inaction. And men's quote-unquote fits of jealousy, rather than being addressed as a mental health problem, were permitted and even encouraged by the existence of the ritual. One of the most important advances of our time, I think, in addition to dramatically greater consciousness of gender equality, is attention to mental health with an emphasis on the nervous system and on emotional self-regulation. As a society, we are dramatically underfunding mental health care, but that's been true forever. But we're also becoming much more aware of the regulation and dysregulation of our nervous systems, and much more knowledgeable about and even skilled at how to work with difficult emotions without acting them out on others. We all have strong emotions sometimes. We will all feel jealous in our lifetimes, as well as angry and sad and afraid. And there will be times when those feelings knock us off balance, make us lose touch with our rational minds, and flood us with uncomfortable and even painful sensations. Out of our discomfort, we may seek relief by using words or actions against other people. The goal, however, is to stay with those feelings, even when they hurt, and even when we're uncomfortable. And if we do that, even the strongest and most difficult feelings will pass and leave our bodies. And if we can make it through those quote-unquote fits without hurting anyone, either by word or by deed, we will have prevented harm. Our society is developing understanding and language, therapies, and even videos on social media about how to do this. It seems that we're at a real threshold of growth. And it seems possible that our generations might do so much better at handling our emotions than the generations that came before us. If we could do that, it would lead to significant improvement upon our behavior. And since hurt people, the more we heal, the more we each manage our own emotions, the more we learn to regulate and re-regulate our own nervous systems, the more healing we will bring to the world. But we're not supposed to be perfect. As you taught us, Elliot, the Torah understood that humans make mistakes. And Judaism gives us ways to reflect on our mistakes, to learn from them, and to come back from our mistakes. Even saying that making a mistake and learning from it is better than never making a mistake at all. So the next time you feel a fit of jealousy or anger or fear or grief come over you, remember, that's just what it is to be human. To the best of our ability, let's feel it without acting on it. And if we make the mistake of acting on it in the moment, let's try to learn as much as we can from that experience. And then, if we do harm, let's apologize and make it right. And the next time we have strong feelings, let's see them as an opportunity to make the cycle stop with us. Shabbat shalom.